Hello, everyone. Hi, welcome back. Oh, this episode, we have been planning this one for a long time, and today is the day.
Hey, hello, friends. Get comfortable. And if you have a job interview coming up, stay for every single minute of this. We mean that.
Every minute. Okay, starting right now.
4 years ago, I had the most important job interview of my life. The company I had wanted to work for since university. The role I had been building toward for 3 years. I had prepared for weeks.
Weeks of preparation.
Notes, practice answers. I knew what I wanted to say. And then I sat down in the room, and the interviewer said, "So, Daniel, tell me about yourself." The most common question in every interview everywhere.
And
My mind went completely blank. Not a little blank, completely, entirely, perfectly blank. Like someone had walked into my brain and turned off all the lights.
in English?
In English, in front of 2 people I desperately wanted to impress. And what came out of my mouth was, I have been,
Oh, Daniel.
3 unfinished sentences and a silence that felt like it lasted 4 years. I did not get that job. And the reason was not my experience. It was not my qualifications. It was that I did not have the English, the specific, confident interview English that I needed in that room.
If you have ever frozen in an interview because the English words would not come, or if you have an interview coming up and you want to walk in prepared, this episode is built for you. Do not go anywhere.
Daily English Podcast.
From Daily English Podcast.
Hey, English learners, welcome back. I am Daniel.
And I am Nova. This is your Daily English Podcast for real conversations, essential vocabulary, and listening practice that prepares you for moments that actually matter in your life.
And a job interview? That is one of the moments that matters most.
Today, we are giving you the complete interview English toolkit, the phrases, the structures, the confidence language, everything.
And we have 2 role plays today, a first-round interview and a tougher follow-up question scenario, so you can hear exactly what confident interview English sounds like.
Before we do anything else, how are you, Daniel? How's your week been?
Really good. Actually connected to today. I helped a friend prepare for an interview this week. 2 hours of practice together, and by the end, the transformation was remarkable.
What changed?
At the start, she kept saying, "I think maybe I am good at, and I hope I can," soft, uncertain. And by the end, she was saying, "I bring strong experience in, and one of my key strengths is." Same person, completely different energy.
The language changed and the confidence followed.
The language led, the confidence followed. That is the whole lesson of today.
What about you? How was your week? Really good. I had a moment this week that made me think about confidence and language. I was presenting something at work, not an interview, just an internal meeting, and I noticed myself using hedging language. This might work. I think perhaps.
The maybe language.
And then I caught myself and switched. This will work. Here is why. And the room responded completely differently.
Same idea. Different language, different reception.
The words you choose about yourself shape how others receive you. And that's exactly what interview language is about.
Before we dive in, a quick favor.
Yes. If this podcast is helping your English and giving you tools for real life, please like this video, subscribe to Daily English Podcast, and share it with one person who has an interview coming up. Specifically, someone who is qualified for the job but is worried their English will let them down. This episode is their preparation. Send it to them today. It might be the reason they get the job. Okay, let us talk about English for job interviews. So, Daniel, let's start with the honest truth. Why do so many English learners struggle specifically in interviews, even when their English is actually quite good?
Because an interview is not a normal English conversation. It is a performance, and it has specific rules, specific structures, and specific vocabulary that you have to know in advance.
Think of an interview like a chess game.
Okay, chess.
In chess, every piece moves in a specific way. The knight moves differently from the rook. The queen has the most freedom. If you sit down at a chessboard without knowing how the pieces move, you cannot play. You're just guessing.
And interview English is the same. The questions are the chess moves, and you need to know the structure of each answer before you sit down.
Not a script, a structure. There is a big difference.
A script sounds memorized and robotic. A structure sounds prepared and confident. The same answer, but one is reading from paper, and one is having a conversation from knowledge.
And here's something we want to tell you early. And we'll come back to this because it connects to the final role play in a surprising way. The interviewer is not your enemy. They're not trying to trick you or catch you out.
They want you to be the right person. They are hoping you are what they need.
So the whole interview is actually them helping you show them what you've got. Once you internalize that, everything relaxes.
And the language relaxes with it. Okay, story first.
Yes, Daniel. Tell us the rest of the story. What happened after that failed interview?
So after that experience, I made a decision. I was not going to let language be the reason I missed another opportunity. So I found every common interview question. There are probably 40 that appear in most interviews, and I built a structure for each one. Not a script, a framework.
A framework meaning the shape of the answer.
The shape, the opening sentence, the middle, the closing sentence, and I practiced each framework out loud, alone, until the structure came automatically, even under pressure.
And the next interview?
I got the job, and 3 years later they promoted me. The work was the same quality. The change was that I could finally show the work through confident language.
Your skills were always there. The language finally showed them.
That is the whole lesson. Your skills exist. Interview English shows them. Let us give our listeners the tools to do exactly that.
Tip 1. Master the tell me about yourself answer.
The most universal interview question. The one that opens almost every interview everywhere in the world, and the one that most people answer badly.
Think of your tell me about yourself answer like a film trailer.
Okay, a trailer.
A film trailer does not show you the whole movie. It shows you the best 2 minutes, the parts that make you want to watch more. Exciting, clear, leaves you wanting to know what happens next.
And your interview opener should do exactly the same.
Here is the structure. 3 parts. Past, present, future. That's it.
Past, where you have come from professionally, 1 or 2 sentences.
Present, what you are doing now and what you are good at, 1 or 2 sentences.
Future, why you are here, what you want next, and why this company specifically, 1 or 2 sentences.
Past, present, future. 60 to 90 seconds. Confident, warm, clear.
Let's show an example. I have spent the last 5 years working in marketing, where I specialized in digital campaigns and content strategy. Currently, I am leading a team of 4 people and focusing on growing organic reach for a mid-sized brand. I am here today because I am looking to bring those skills to a larger stage, and from what I have read about your company's approach to content, I believe this is exactly the right environment for that growth.
Past, present, future. Complete, confident, natural.
And the key language inside that, I have spent, I specialized in, I am currently leading, I am looking to, I believe this is.
Strong verbs, present tense for now, confident belief language for the future.
And listeners, if you are nervous about this answer, write your version right now. Past, present, future. 3 short paragraphs. Then practice it out loud until it comes naturally.
The trailer always gets easier with rehearsal. And tip 2 is where we tackle the question that makes almost everyone uncomfortable.
Tip 2. Answer what is your greatest weakness without damaging yourself.
This question has a trap built into it, and most people fall into it.
Think of this question like a high wire.
Okay, a high wire.
If you panic on a high wire, you fall. If you try to pretend there is no wire and act completely relaxed, it looks fake. The goal is confident balance. Acknowledge the wire, walk it carefully, get to the other side.
Most people either say something fake, my greatest weakness is that I work too hard, which every interviewer has heard 1,000 times.
Please, never say that.
Never. Or they say something genuinely damaging. I sometimes miss deadlines, without any recovery.
So the structure for this question, 3 parts. Name a real but manageable weakness. Show what you are actively doing about it. Show the positive result or progress.
One area I have been actively working on is public speaking. Earlier in my career, I found large presentations quite nerve-wracking. So I joined a public speaking group 18 months ago and have now presented to audiences of over 100 people. I am not fully where I want to be yet, but I am genuinely proud of how far I have come.
Real weakness, active improvement, progress without claiming perfection.
And the language, one area I have been actively working on. Earlier in my career, I joined. I am not fully where I want to be yet, but...
That but is the pivot. Every weakness answer needs a but.
The but shows that the weakness is not the end of the story.
And listeners, I want to be direct with you here. Interviewers do not expect perfection. They expect honesty and growth mindset. A real weakness handled maturely impresses far more than a fake perfect answer.
Be real, show the growth, walk the wire.
And tip 3, this is the one that changes how you talk about everything you have ever done. Stay with us.
Tip 3. Use the STAR method to answer experience questions.
Experience questions are the ones that start with, tell me about a time when you, or give me an example of, or describe a situation where you.
These are behavioral questions, and they are extremely common in professional English interviews.
Think of answering these questions like telling a short news story.
Okay, a news story.
A good news story has 4 things: the situation, what was happening, the context, the problem or challenge, what needed to be solved, the action taken, what someone did about it, and the result, what happened.
That is literally the STAR method. Situation, task, action, result.
And every behavioral question can be answered with this structure.
Tell me about a time you handled conflict in a team. Situation, task, action, result.
Describe a time you worked under pressure. Situation, task, action, result.
Give me an example of when you showed leadership. Same structure. Every time.
Let's hear one full STAR answer. You asked about handling pressure. In my previous role, we had a product launch delayed by a supplier 3 days before the launch date. Situation.
My task was to find an alternative solution without delaying the launch.
I contacted 5 alternative suppliers in one afternoon, negotiated an emergency order, and coordinated with the logistics team to restructure the delivery schedule.
We launched on time. Our client called it the smoothest launch they had seen in 3 years.
Result. Situation, task, action, result. Confident, specific, impressive.
And the language throughout. In my previous role, my task was to, I contacted, I negotiated, I coordinated, we launched on time.
Strong past tense, active verbs, personal ownership of actions.
And listeners, if you use we too much in interview answers, switch to I. You are not erasing the team. You are taking ownership of your contribution. Interviewers want to know what you did.
Okay, this is the moment I've been waiting for. Let's actually show what STAR sounds like in a real interview setting. Nova, you are the interviewer. I am the candidate. Let's go.
Roleplay starting now. Thank you for coming in today, Daniel. Let's start with, can you tell me a bit about yourself?
Of course. I have spent the last 6 years working in project management, where I specialized in cross-functional team coordination and delivery. Currently, I am overseeing 3 simultaneous projects for a technology company and focusing on building more efficient communication systems across departments. I'm here today because I am genuinely excited about the scale of work your company handles, and I believe the skills I have built are exactly what this role requires.
Excellent. Now, tell me about a time you managed a difficult stakeholder relationship.
Absolutely. In my previous role, we had a key client who was becoming increasingly frustrated because our reporting timelines did not match their internal review cycle. My task was to rebuild that relationship and find a sustainable solution. I set up a one-to-one meeting with their lead contact, not an email, a real conversation, listened to their concerns fully, and then proposed a revised reporting schedule that worked for both sides. I also introduced a monthly check-in call that gave them visibility without adding to my team's workload. Within 2 months, that client went from our most difficult relationship to one of our strongest advocates. They renewed their contract and specifically mentioned the communication improvement in their feedback.
That is a strong example. And what would you say is your greatest weakness?
One area I have been actively working on is delegating. Earlier in my career, I had a tendency to hold on to tasks I could have passed to others. I think because I wanted to make sure everything was done to a high standard. I have been working on this deliberately over the past year by building clear systems of trust with my team members, setting clear expectations, checking in without micromanaging. The result is that my team is stronger and I am more focused on the work only I can do. I'm not fully where I want to be yet, but the progress has been meaningful. Thank you. Last question. Why do you want to work here specifically? Honestly, I have followed your company's work for 2 years. The way you approach sustainability in your operations aligns closely with values I hold personally and professionally. And the growth trajectory you're on right now is exactly the kind of environment where I do my best work. I want to be part of something that's building towards something, and I believe this company is doing exactly that. That is very clear. We'll be in touch. Thank you so much for your time. I've really enjoyed this conversation. And scene. Roleplay done. Done. Okay, what did you notice?
Every answer had a structure. Tell me about yourself, past, present, future. Behavioral question, full STAR. Weakness, real, active improvement, progress pivot.
And the language throughout. Strong verbs. I set up, I proposed, I introduced. No, I tried to, or I think maybe I.
Every verb was confident and completed.
And the final answer, why do you want to work here? Personal, specific, connected to values, not because it is a good company.
Listeners, pause right now and say this out loud. One area I have been actively working on is blank. Fill in your real answer. Say it with a calm, confident voice.
That's your weakness answer. Practiced, owned, ready.
And here's something that genuinely surprised me when I was preparing this episode. Research shows that interviewers form their initial impression of a candidate within the first 90 seconds of the interview. 90 seconds.
Before you have answered a single substantial question.
Which means your opening energy, your greeting, your body language, your first sentence carries enormous weight.
So tip 4 is about exactly that.
Tip 4. Control your opening and closing impressions.
The first 90 seconds and the final 60 seconds of any interview are the highest value moments, and most people do not prepare them specifically.
Think of the opening and closing of an interview like the cover and the final page of a book.
Okay, a book.
Nobody reads every word of a book before buying it. They read the cover, they read the first paragraph, they flip to the end and read the last page.
And they decide from those 3 things whether the whole book is worth their time.
Your opening impression is the cover, your closing is the final page, and both deserve specific preparation.
For the opening, when you walk in, shake hands and sit down, your first spoken words set everything.
Natural opening phrases. It is great to be here. Thank you for having me. Warm and genuine.
I really appreciated the information you sent ahead of today. It was helpful to prepare. Shows you are organized and engaged.
I have been looking forward to this conversation. Confident and positive without being overeager.
And for the closing, when they say, "Do you have any questions for us?" never say no. Always have 2 questions ready.
Great closing questions. What does success look like in this role in the first 6 months? Shows you are already thinking about performing. What do you enjoy most about working here? Human, warm, turns the conversation briefly toward them. What are the biggest challenges the team is currently facing? Show strategic thinking.
And the final sentence before you leave. Thank you so much. I have genuinely enjoyed this conversation, and I am very excited about this opportunity. Clear, warm, memorable.
And listeners, practice your opening sentence and your closing sentence as much as you practice any other answer, because they frame everything in between. The cover and the final page. Make them count. And tip 5 is the one that ties every other tip together, and it is the most important mindset shift in the whole episode. Tip 5. Speak about your experience with ownership and confidence language. This is not about being arrogant. This is about being accurate. Think of confidence language like lighting in a photograph.
Okay, lighting.
A photograph of a beautiful scene taken in poor light looks dull, flat, uninspiring. The scene itself has not changed, but without the right light, nobody can see it properly.
In your experience, your skills, your achievements, they are the scene. Confidence language is the lighting.
Without it, everything you have done looks smaller than it is.
So the language shift. Instead of, I tried to improve the process, say, I improved the process.
Instead of, I think I am quite good at problem solving, say, problem solving is one of my strongest skills.
Instead of, I hope I can bring value, say, I am confident I can bring real value.
Instead of, we kind of worked on a project together, say, I led a cross-functional project that delivered X result.
The language of ownership. I led, I built, I delivered, I introduced, I improved.
Not, we kind of tried to maybe possibly do something in that general direction.
Nobody gets hired with maybe possibly.
And listeners, here is something important. Using confident language does not mean claiming credit you do not have. It means accurately describing what you actually did. If you did it, say so, clearly, without apology. Your achievements are not bragging. They are evidence, and the interviewer needs evidence. Give them the light. Let them see the scene properly.
Okay, before vocabulary, our final role play. This one is harder, a tougher interview with unexpected questions, showing how all 5 tips work together under pressure. Ready?
Final role play, starting now. Welcome back. Before we continue, I want to ask you something directly. Your resume shows a gap of 8 months between your last 2 roles. Can you walk me through that?
Of course. After my previous role ended, I made a deliberate decision to take some time before my next move. I wanted to ensure I was moving forward with intention rather than just taking the next available thing. During that time, I completed a project management certification, did some freelance consulting work to stay active, and honestly, did some real reflection on the direction I wanted my career to go. I came out of that period with much more clarity about the kind of work and the kind of environment where I do my best. And that clarity is a big part of why I'm here today.
I appreciate the honesty. Now, this role requires you to manage people who have more technical experience than you. How would you handle that dynamic?
That's actually a dynamic I have navigated before and found genuinely rewarding. My view is that a manager doesn't need to be the most technically skilled person in the room. They need to create the conditions for the technically skilled people to do their best work. I bring strong organizational structure, clear communication, and the ability to remove obstacles. I rely on my team's expertise, I ask a lot of questions, and I make sure they have the resources and the space to perform. In my experience, technically strong people respond very well to a manager who respects their knowledge and gets out of their way.
Well said. Last thing, is there anything about your background that you think might give us pause?
That's a thoughtful question. I'll be transparent. I have not worked specifically in your industry before. I come from a different sector. But I believe the skills I bring, team leadership, stakeholder management, delivery under pressure, are highly transferable. And in my experience, bringing a fresh perspective from outside an industry can be genuinely valuable. I'm not coming in thinking I know everything about your world. I'm coming in ready to learn it quickly and bring what I do know with confidence.
That is a very considered answer. Thank you. Do you have any questions for us?
I do. What does success look like in this role in the first 6 months? And what do you personally find most exciting about where the company is headed right now?
Both great questions. Let me answer the second one first.
Please, I am genuinely curious.
I like that. We'll continue this in a moment.
And that's a wrap. Final role play, done.
Done. What did you see in that conversation?
Every difficult question was met with structure and calm. The gap in employment turned into a story of deliberate reflection and growth. The lack of industry experience turned into an asset, fresh perspective, transferable skills.
And the closing questions, not just do you have questions with silence, genuinely curious, warm, memorable.
And notice how genuinely curious, 4 words, made the whole energy shift. The interviewer laughed, the tension dropped.
Human moments in interviews, they are allowed. They are actually good.
Did you catch all of that? Let's go through the key words and phrases now.
Vocabulary time. First, transferable skills. Abilities and experiences that are useful across different jobs or industries.
My project management experience gives me transferable skills that apply in any sector. Casual. I come from a different field, but I have transferable skills. Leadership, communication, delivery.
Next, stakeholder. A person or group with an interest or involvement in a project or organization.
Managing stakeholder expectations was a key part of my previous role. Casual. The hardest part was keeping all the stakeholders happy. Everyone wanted something different.
Then, behavioral question. An interview question that asks for a specific example from your past experience, usually starting with, tell me about a time when.
Most interviews include behavioral questions. Prepare STAR answers in advance. Casual. They asked me a behavioral question about conflict. I used the STAR method and it went really well.
We use the phrase deliberate, done with full intention and careful thought, not by accident or impulse.
I made a deliberate decision to take time before my next role. Casual. I'm being deliberate about where I apply. I want the right fit, not just any job.
Then advocate, someone who actively supports and speaks positively about you or something you are involved in.
That client went from our most difficult relationship to one of our strongest advocates. Casual. She became a real advocate for our work, told everyone about us.
We used micromanaging, controlling every small detail of someone else's work without trusting them.
I learned to check in without micromanaging. Trust the team, set clear expectations. Casual. My old manager was always micromanaging. It killed the team's confidence.
And one more, trajectory. The path or direction something is moving in, especially in terms of growth or progress.
The growth trajectory of this company is exactly the kind of environment I want to be part of. Casual. My career trajectory has been building toward this kind of role for 3 years.
Okay, your challenge. Pick one phrase from today, either a vocabulary word or a full sentence structure, and say it out loud right now in the context of your own experience. Make it personal. Make it yours. Because in a real interview, that's exactly what you'll need. Quick recap of today's 5 tips. Tip 1. Master tell me about yourself. Past, present, future. The trailer that makes them want to watch the whole film. Tip 2. Answer the weakness question with real honesty and active growth. Real weakness, active improvement. The pivot, but. Walk the wire with Wirewiths. Tip 3. Use the STAR method for every experience question. Situation, task, action, result. The complete news story. Tip 4. Prepare your opening and closing specifically. The cover and the final page. Make both count. Have your questions ready. And tip 5. Use language of ownership and confidence. Turn on the light. Let the interviewer see the scene properly. I led. I built. I delivered. Your skills are real. Your experience is real. Your value is real. The interview is just the room where you show it. And now you have the language to do that. Confidently, clearly, in English. Here is your question for today. What is the interview question you find most difficult to answer in English? Tell us in the comments. Write it. We read every comment, and your question might become our next dedicated episode. And if this episode gave you tools that will help you walk into your next interview differently, please like this video, subscribe to Daily English Podcast, and share it with one person who has an interview coming up and is nervous about the English. You probably already know who that person is. Send it to them right now, today, before they go in unprepared. This was the Daily English Podcast with Nova and Daniel. Until next time, know your structure, own your story, and walk in knowing that you deserve to be in that room. Bye, everyone. Bye-bye. Take care. And go practice tell me about yourself right now, out loud, in English, with confidence.
The lights are on. Let them see you. Bye.